Stayed last night at the Nature's Inn Hostel and Cabins to get out of the rain and weather. Rain is mostly stopped. It's supposed to continue lightly till about midday. Wind is still out. Slept comfortably and dry and warm, but unfortunately I'm still waiting on a shuttle to get out onto the trail. It's putting a delay on the day. We'll see what time I get started. Just to show you how close we come to the state of Tennessee. There's the border. We're still skirting it in North Carolina. Starting our day. Good morning, everybody. Boy, last night was a weird ending to a great day. I did complete a 25.2 mile day yesterday from Little Earl Shelter to Sam's Gap, and stayed at the Nature's Inn Hostel. I was unable to close out yesterday's video the way I typically like to because of a couple reasons. One, I just got in late. It was 6:45 by the time I got there, and by the time I had showered, actually did a little bit of laundry and got a meal, it was very late. I stayed in a bunk, and other people were sleeping, and the community room was very active with other backpackers that had come in for shelter. And it was a mix of attempting thru-hikers, some day hikers, and some section hikers as well. But slept good. I will refrain from giving the Nature's Inn Hostel my highest marks in terms of review. The staff was very friendly, semi-accommodating in terms of the shuttle service. And the reason why I say semi-accommodating was, I called to make sure they had a bunk, which they did, but it was kind of based on a condition that I meet them within an hour, 6:30 at night, because essentially they were going to take off for the rest of the day. So after already doing 22.4 miles or whatever, I had to race to get the next 2.5 done in an hour to get there. But they were on time with the shuttle from that hour. Actually beat them there. I did it in about 45 minutes. Just the fact that it was tied, my room and bunk was tied to my ability to get there within an hour, and it only being 6:30 at night, kind of stops me from giving them the highest marks. I did learn that the hostel is kind of a part-time business for the owner and the manager. The owner has a full-time job elsewhere. The manager lives outside of the area in the town of Asheville, she said. And so because of that, it requires them to be off-site. Other hikers had wanted to wait till late in the day to start hiking after the rain. I kind of had to work with them to negotiate a shuttle out at 9 a.m. To get back on trail. That shuttle was late, didn't get on trail till 10. And then some other little things. A hostel bunk is $30 there, which is a little bit pricier than some hostels that I've seen. But when you factor in that laundry is $6 additional cost, there's no Wi-Fi and things like that, the cost just seems a little expensive. And $6 for laundry is a little excessive when you're doing the laundry yourself. So essentially it's $6 for a cup of detergent. So I don't fault them for their business. Again, very polite staff, very nice. I would say definitely reserve a place there if you have no options. But if better options are available, you might want to check there first. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad place. They just don't get my highest marks. So enough of the Nature's Inn Hostel. I am well on the way on my day. Today is going to be a 18.3 mile day, hopefully. And I say hopefully because I am racing the sun. So because I started at 10, my hope will be that I'll get into the No Business Knob shelter tonight by 7 o'clock. And if that works out, that'll still give me 30 minutes or so before dark to get my camp chores in, get a meal, and get ready for the next day, which will be a Nero into Uncle Johnny's Hostel, which is a scheduled resupply for me. Today should be relatively good day. It's going to be some more ups and downs, but I would say based on the elevation profile that I saw, more downs than ups. Super excited for the day. Not letting this wind get me down. I think the rain is mostly past. I'm going to leave my wet weather top on here for a little bit longer and until after 11 or so. And if there's still no rain by that time, I'll probably take off that layer and be a little bit more comfortable. Thanks a lot, everyone, for continuing to join me on the journey. I really do hope I find something interesting to share today. Until then, I'll see you later on trail. I had received a request yesterday from a viewer that said they would like to see more views of the trail. So I thought I'd share this one. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind, but this is indicative of the reality of the trail. Every day there is long vertical climbs like this one, going up in ascent. The challenge is maintaining a reasonable pace, kind of consistent with a metronome, if you will. Now the speed of that metronome is up to you, but I found that keeping a good steady rhythm that I'm comfortable with is key to getting up these climbs. It's my own cadence that allows me just to continue to climb, and then as it smooths out, I then return to my military quick time cadence, if you will. Works for me, but this is indicative of a climb. We've got a couple of these today, so it's not all smooth, it's not all pretty. Some of it's challenging, but to me, it's all satisfying. Coming into our first views today. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I've got my headphone in. We are under a high wind advisory today till about 2 in the afternoon. That's a pretty view. Low hanging rain clouds. Nice mist rolling up from the valley. So far the trail's been good. Started out with an uphill. We're going to have varying degrees of elevation today, but in general the first 6 miles are uphill. There's a pretty view though. Little peak of blue sky out there. I think in time as the day goes on, hopefully these clouds will lift up. Pretty though. I have yet to find a bad day on the AT. There's always some glimpse of something. Everybody, this will be maybe one of the few times you hear me get on my soapbox. But the AT is a precious resource. It's the world's longest foot trail for a reason. Helps maintain the area, maintains the wildlife environment, reduces the disruption to the scenic trail, human impact on the environment. When no vehicles are allowed, not even horses. It's a precious resource. And every year there's a struggle to preserve it from others that want to cross it due to industry. Look at that. That want to encroach upon it. And there are many organizations that work actively to continue to maintain the protected nature of this trail. Because without it, views like that might be harder to find. I just love the mist that forms in the woods after a good rain. This is also a nice bit of walk because while the wind is still kicking, I'm on the opposite side of a hilltop, and so the wind is deflected from me. Has been for quite some time. It's quite enjoyable. I can hear the wind, but I can barely feel it. And boy, this mist really is pretty. Still traveling generally uphill, about 4.5 miles in. So I got about 1.5 miles to go, which will also be the highest point of the day. After that, everything kind of starts to take a downhill profile for a bit. These old moss-covered areas are pretty. Fallen trees and rocks. You can tell they stay damp, probably under a certain amount of cloud cover, probably even year-round. But it's pretty. Just another one of those aspects of the trail. High elevation can be taxing on your body. Generally, it's the high elevation that provides you some of the prettiest views. This is our climb into Big Bald. So this is gonna be our highest elevation of the day. Boy, I bet the wind is gonna be kicking when we cross that bald. 0.4 miles to go. We'll see. We're on Big Bald, everybody. Yeah. Woo! 45 mile an hour. I believe it. You don't want to be up here on a bad day. Oh my goodness. Not quite at the top. 5,500 feet of elevation. Climbed up from 4,900 this morning. Woo, this wind. Definitely no views to be had from Big Bald today. Oh, that wind was something. So I think the wind has blown itself out. It's about 1:45 in the afternoon. Got about 10 miles in, about 8 more miles to go. And yeah, there's still some breeze here and there, some gusting, but nothing near as bad as it was. I got to tell you, the being on the bald was intense. Sometimes the wind would gust and push against the pack, and I had to fight to stay upright. But that was a calculated risk decision on my own part, and knowing that, one, there was no anticipated storm activity, and that no rain even, just wind. And knowing my own personal capability, I decided to do it. And you know what? I don't regret it. It was actually, it was fun. I really did enjoy it. So, got a bit of a downhill. And here comes a little bit of rain. I think I spoke too soon. We'll see if it lasts. If I want to put my top on, I'm not going to do it right away. But yeah. Got a bit of a downhill for a bit, and now I'm just focusing on my footing, making sure that from last night's rain there aren't any slick spots. I've already seen some. Apparently there's a hiker ahead of me that I've seen some slips, skid marks in the mud. So I'm definitely watching my step for those areas that are slick. And all in all, though, making great progress. Boy, let me tell you, once the wind quieted down, it turned into quite a beautiful day. The birds came back out quickly. So it has really turned out to be a pleasant day. The rain lasted for a good hour, And since it stopped, it's really become I guess I'll say a mostly cloudy day still, but there's just enough peaks of sunlight that it's warmed up quite a bit. And I was just coming out of Spivey Gap and I got trail magic. I did, yeah. It's, just as I'm about 14 or so miles, almost 14 miles into my day, I met Philly Cheese, who was handing out trail magic today. She finished the AT last year, so she was a class of 2021, and she was down here to hike the Foothills Trail in North Carolina and got off trail because the same bad weather that I went into the hostel for. And since she's from the city of Philadelphia, she said she decided to, since she was already in North Carolina and got off trail, she'd stay down here for a couple days and hand out trail magic. And so, what a unique set of circumstances. Bad weather had to come in for me to go into a hostel last night to get a late start today, and she had to come to North Carolina and get off trail because of the same bad weather and hand out trail magic, and there was the chance meeting. So they say the trail provides. That was a good boost to my spirits. Had some Gatorade, had some Cheetos, so I'm filled with electrolytes and carbs. Got about 4.9 miles left, and in my day, I should make it to No Business Knob Shelter at about 6 o'clock. Well, everybody, I made it to No Business Knob Shelter. It ended up being a good day. Skies are mostly clear. There is some wind picking back up for the evening, but nothing compared to last night. All in all, it ended up being an 18.3 mile day. Very good day. Despite the late start, I made good time. Got to see some good views at the beginning, experienced some rainy weather and some winds. Had an exciting time crossing Big Bald and actually had some trail magic. Yeah, so from Philly Cheese. And so all in all, it was a great day. Looking forward to a short day tomorrow into Irwin, Tennessee, where I'm going to have a scheduled Nero. And I will look forward to sharing that 6.2 miles with you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. I'm Briggs.